Yo, so I'm watching this show called A Modern Family. What the fuck? 10 episodes, about 40 minutes apiece. This is a Korean show. Let's just get to episode 1. So we got this guy by the name of Donchi. He got his wife Mia and these 2 kids. They're all looking at this news report about this guy named Professor Kim. He got into himself some type of scandal. Some child situation, bottom line, he got locked up. So now they basically getting the kids ready for school. The older daughter goes to school, but the younger boy is like, I can't go to school, it's dangerous. They're like, aren't you just going with your class buddies for a picnic day or something? Well, see, the problem is he's got this heart condition. I guess he can't be out in the open doors like that around a bunch of people, so... But what the kids are oblivious of is Donchi and Mia about to get a divorce. So then Donchi meets up with this guy by the name of Bayon. And we find out Donchi is actually a teacher or a student lecturer or whatever like that. And basically he had some type of deal with Bayon. And we find out Professor Kim actually worked at the school that they were at. Bayon was actually giving Donchi money, or Donchi was actually giving Bayon money, so he can get a good word into Professor Kim, so that way Donchi can move up in the ranks and be able to make more money so he can get money for his son's operation. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And Donchi's ready to strangle this nigga at this point because he's like at a no-win situation. So his wife's about to divorce him and he barely has any money to help out his son for the operation. So he's driving halfway home on the side street and his phone starts ringing, ends up being his son. So they FaceTime, they talking, Donchi's making sure that he has his meds. Now at this point the mom took both of the kids to the grandma's house and they're supposed to be gone for about a week. So after he gets off the phone with his son, Donchi is like contemplating life, then all of a sudden he gets rear-ended by this random ass car. So he gets out to go and look in the van and finds out there's these 2 guys laying there dead as shit. And in the back there's a duffel bag full of fucking money. He was about to call the police, but until he saw the money. So as he's trying to scramble us all this cash, all of a sudden one car comes by. The car didn't stop, but he kept his head in the van to make sure he didn't get his face seen. So afterwards he takes the money, drives off in his car, and goes up to his house. So while he's stashing the money, it starts raining. So this is what he decides to do after the fact. He goes back to the van, gets the 2 bodies, puts them in the trunk, and then takes the van to his house. The fuck? So he cleans out the van in his garage, buries the bodies in his own backyard, and now he's driving off with the van. Now, I don't know where exactly he was supposed to be going at this point, but he's driving down the road. All of a sudden, he gets to this checkpoint. One car speeds through the checkpoint. He turns around and goes the opposite way, but then the cop starts following him. Hides the car between some 18-wheelers, and that's the point where he goes back to discard the bodies and everything. And I was like, what the fuck? You tried to drive it through a checkpoint with 2 dead niggas in the car? I'm like, what the fuck? In the van that's not yours? But anyway, I got the story twisted a little bit. But anyway, we're back on track. So now so he can get to another destination, he's got to go back to that same damn checkpoint. Cop's like, yeah, I've seen this car before. He convinces him like, yeah, it's a common color car, you know what I'm saying? Bottom line, the cop decides to let him go on because the cars are starting to pile up. He's like, look, we can't keep violence checkpoint up. But before that, in the midst of them talking, they heard a phone ring. He told the cops it's probably his daughter's phone, but we found out that he didn't check this one bag that was inside the van. So after he crosses the checkpoint, he checks the phone and it says, oh, dude, dude finish off whoever. So now he gets to this random area with a lake. He gets out the van and tosses the whole bag and the phone into the water like done deal, right? Then all of a sudden he just dips out and leaves the van there. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're burying all this shit, why don't you just bury the fucking van in there? Next day, this random ass chick discovers the van, which I'm pretty sure has a tracking device on it. Anybody could just find this shit. She picks up the phone and he's talking to some guy named Kwang. And we find out he's some type of mafia boss. So apparently the van was supposed to be getting transported somewhere, but got derailed. So then we see Kwang going to this warehouse to talk to this other dude named Yoko. Yoko throws a glass bottle at his head like that shit was just normal. He's just like, dude, what the fuck? So bottom line is they gotta figure out what happened to the money, because if they don't, both of them niggas is dead. And we don't know who works above them just yet. So the chick that called Kwang earlier, I guess she's part of like a investigation bureau, and she's sitting in the car far away looking at binoculars to see that Kwang is going toward the van. He checks the van, at the bottom of it is the tracker that was down there. So basically rolling with the boys, he gotta figure out what the fuck happened. Meanwhile, Mia looks through her expenses and she finds out that she ain't got no money in that shit. She's like, what the fuck? What happened to all the money? So she gets the kids in the car and they about to head back to the house. They get back in the house to Donchi's surprise. He's like, oh, I thought you was coming back tomorrow. She's like, look, we've been supposed to get divorced, but I will leave you right the fuck now if you don't tell me what's going on with this money. So basically he starts telling her about this supposed business adventures with Bayon and his friend or whatever like that. But she don't trust that nigga. Where's it gotten him so far? So now later on, Donchi's on the computer, he's looking at ways to transfer money into a bank. Trying to figure out the amount he can put in the time, because too much, you know, Fed's gonna be looking at that shit. Then his daughter woke out of nowhere, she was like, man, I can't get to sleep, I keep hearing this noise. She kept saying it sounded like a phone. A phone? So apparently when he buried both the guys, another phone he probably buried under the fucking dirt. So he digs that up, finds the phone, making sure not to get caught, because the next door neighbor's dog kept barking and shit, and he's like... So at this point, he's got all the cash in the garage, still in the same duffel bag. But then in another scene, we see Kwang is getting real close to his location. Donchi is driving, and he drives right past Kwang on the road. I'm like, oh shit. So he's about to find some type of spot to dump this phone, because you know niggas been tracking it. Last thing we see is some chick named Chi-Chi calling the phone. You're thinking to yourself, is that one of the guy's wives, or, you know what I'm saying, the girlfriend or something? And that's how the first episode ends, yo. This shit, yo. Like I said, it's 10 episodes. This is about to be some fucking madness. A Modern Family on Netflix. You already know.